Started. How we doing, my YouTube family? I'm also on my Google Meet too. So my Google Meet attendees, please pay attention. If you got a question, you can always chime in and I'll still hear you. So now what I need is I'm uploading this image real quick so I can show it to you what it looks like to have high interest rates. And when you get these installment loans, I want you to pay very, very close attention to how much they're charging you. And I'm going to show you the laws for the state of Mississippi. Okay. So what I need you to do, all my people that come in, my viewers that watch this video, please type in the chat or in the comment section, type what state you're from. If you need help looking for your laws, please let me know. If you from Texas, say help Texas. Put something showing that you need help finding the laws for Texas. I don't mind helping because as of right now, I'm going through, I'm about to go through a process of lawsuit with a company that was actually a predatory lender. And this contract that I'm showing you is actually the second loan that was given to me. But I'm gonna walk you through that process in a minute. All right. So let me upload this image real quick. And this company, you will have some companies that will be reporting late payments. So I also want to talk about late payments, collections, and charge-offs too. So I'm gonna upload this, and I'm gonna say the usury high interest for last, because I want you to see that you can earn up to 357.5 points from just the payment history by itself. Okay, from the payment history by itself. Now, let me make sure I do this real quick so I won't forget. And I'm gonna give you two examples as I take you through the laws for Mississippi for high interest rates, so you can have a good idea on how you need to pursue yours. And make sure, as I'm saying the laws through this video, this live, make sure you all write them down, because so you can have a reference to go back to. I want to thank everybody, all my viewers that's been participating with me, that's been rocking with me ever since I've been going. I'm trying to reach 1,000 views. I'm almost there. I'm at 804, if I'm not mistaken. So I did have some scammers try to take my videos, and they were started with me on the videos, but then they end up with some bull crap. So if you see any of that, please block. Please come back and see if they got the same subscriber count as I do. And you already know I'm down to earth. If you see anything crazy, it ain't me. All right, so let me email it to myself. All right, so let's talk about late payments. Let's talk about late payments. They're going to collections. They're going to charge-offs. All right, so what we need to know, first of all, when you go in a company or when you apply for credit, the first thing you need to make sure is that, did you give that company permissible purpose? All right. So you want to know if you gave this company permissible purpose. And hold on one second, because I need to record this. Did you give this company permissible purpose? All right. So when we talk about permissible purpose, we're talking about 15 USC 1681B. So let me take you to it so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. 15 USC 1681B. BA2 1681. And I want you to take if you got like an extra device that you can use, go ahead and have that ready, so you can have one where you listening to me and the other one, or you can double tap on, if you got a iOS, you can double tap and see go from screen to screen, because they do have the little extra player that's small. You can still hear me and listen to me if you're on YouTube live watching me now, and you can be searching the laws at the same time. So you'll still have the screen up if you have that iOS or that Apple device. All right, so let me share my screen real quick. First of all, when you apply for credit with these companies, you have to make sure that they have permissible purpose. All right. They have to have permissible purpose. Make sure I got this right. Yeah, that's what I got. BA2, that's it. All right, so let me share my screen really quickly so you all can see it. First of all, they have to have permissible purpose. So you're going to go to 15 USC 1681B, and then we're going to go to A, and then we're going to go to 2. All right. Chrome tab. All right. So now under 15 USC 1681B, permissible purpose. Did you give these companies permission to even check your credit or to even report to any credit bureaus? We know there's no such thing as credit bureaus. So just for the sake of the video and me not having to say consumer reporting agencies, that's a long word, I will say credit bureaus, okay? So now, and this is going to lead me into the late payments, which can turn into collections, which can turn into charge-offs. So if you're just joining my live, thank you all for watching. Please join my Facebook group. I have a lot of things going in my Facebook group. I am on live with my Google Meet my Google Meet group that we meet every Wednesday and we talk about things like this, especially credit if they have questions about credit. And at the end of this video, I will be talking about usury law, high interest rates. Okay. So if you know anybody, your family member, anybody you know um, has been a victim of high interest rates, this is the video. You need to write these notes down. Okay. All right. So 15 USC 1681B. Did you give these companies permissible purpose or permission? Now it says in accordance with written, looking at B2, in accordance with the written instructions of the consumer to whom it relates. So now, did you sign a statement or did you write a statement giving these companies permission to either check your credit or report any negative information to your credit report? All right. So if you did not give these companies permission to do that, then they are violating you according to 15 USC 1681B2. All right, A2, BA2. A is in apple, then 2, because I know my letters be sounding funny. So, but if you did give them permission to run your credit, now once you get that account with that creditor, you know, things in life, it happens. We be late on some things. We got kids. They needing things on the side, especially for sports events, things like that. Somebody may have to go to the doctor, medical issue, have to pay for a doctor, unforeseen doctor's visit that pop up, and we get behind on bills. So therefore, we what word was I trying to use? We accumulate late payments. All right. So now this company reports late payment. That just dropped your credit report, and just for the sake of the video, 48 points. A 48-point dive is a huge, it's very important when it comes to you trying to apply for credit, because you just took your child to the doctor as an example. You got that late payment. You can't apply for credit because you need extra money to pay for maybe surgery or whatever it is, child not on Medicaid. You don't get any type of government assistance. So that late payment hit your credit hard. So now when you get ready to apply for a loan or any other type of credit to help you pay for this, then now you can't get approved. You can't get approved. You can't get approved because now you've got a late payment reporting on your credit. All right, so now let's go into the late payment section. So let's go to 15 USC 1681A. Let me go to 15 USC 1681A. So now we just did permissible purpose. They have to have written instructions from you, the consumer. It didn't say orally. It says with written instruction from the consumer is what it says, okay? So now we're going to share this screen going to late payments. So let's talk about late payments, all right? Let's talk about late payments. All right, so let's talk about late payment. 15 USC 1681A. And we're going to look at D2A1. So let's go to 15 USC 1681A. Definitions and rules of construction. We're talking about late payments. All right. So we're going to go to D2. Talking about consumer report. So we're going to go to consumer report. In general, a consumer report means any written or oral other communication of any information by a consumer reporting agency bearing on a consumer's creditworthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, general reputation, personal characteristics, or mode of living, which is used or expected to be used or collected in whole or in part for the purpose of serving as a factor in establishing the consumer's eligibility. So what this company just did was they defamed your character. We all make mistakes. Just because it's showing a late payment doesn't mean you're a bad person. That means life hit you, and now this company is actually reporting this negative information. So therefore, you can't get approved credit because creditors are looking at you as a bad person. I wouldn't rely on approving them for credit because they may not pay me back. So now they just stopped you from getting the credit that you deserve, because now I need to ask you, did you give them permission to report this negative information? All right. This is what late payments come in now. Think about it, and think about a 30-day late payment. The companies call it a 30-day late payment. I haven't seen in the laws where there's a such thing as a 30-day late payment. But there is in the laws, and it's under the 1666 title, subchapters, where it's talking about that they can charge you when it's dealing with a finance charge, they can charge you a late fee. Okay, they can charge you a late fee, and each state has its own laws about if they want to use the 10-day. After 10 days, they'll charge you a late fee at a certain percentage, or 15 days. They'll charge you a late fee for a percentage, but it doesn't say anything about a 30-day late payment. This some creditors made up. All right. So now, if we're thinking about a late payment, let's go to 2 and let's go to A1. So here is A, and we're going to go to A1. So if we're talking about a late payment, 2 says exclusions. Type in the chat box, in the comment box, what do you think exclusion mean? What do you think exclusions mean? What do you think exclusions mean? Exclusions mean that they don't supposed to put them on your credit report. All right. So let's keep going. It says a report containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. Okay. It says information excluding information solely as to transaction. Isn't a late payment a transaction? Isn't a missed payment an experience? So that means that if a late payment is a transaction, because if I'm late on paying them, that means now they're finna charge me a late fee. That's a transaction. Okay. So they're not even supposed to be reporting late payments on your credit report. And if you look at one of my other lives on YouTube about late payments, I show you exactly an actual contract that I signed, agreement that I signed, where I didn't even know I signed it. And when you sign it, I only signed that contract one time. So what they did was they put everything that they wanted me to admit to without even making it clearly and conspicuous to me. I didn't even see that, and it's in bold. It's in a box. It's all caps, saying that I was giving them permission to report late payments, missed payments, any default derogatory information to my credit report. And that dumbfounded me, because the law just said that they're not supposed to report any transactions or experience. And that was the actual law that they got from negative information. That's that negative information law that they took and they reworded it. 15 USC 1681 S2A as an apple 7. They used that law and reworded it to make it look like I gave them permission, because once I signed, I'm giving them permission, because that part of the contract wasn't made clearly and conspicuous to me. Because if they'd have told me this when I first started, I was like, no, I don't want you reporting on late payments to my credit report. I would have never signed that. You had to give me another contract, even though I would have needed the money. And that's how they get you, because you need the money under duress. So that stuff doesn't connect to you or resonate with you at the time, because you need the money. That's all you worried about. You need the money at the time, and you'll admit to anything with that. And they don't even go over the policy, not policy, but the contract with you, because they don't want to make it clearly and conspicuous to you, because you may turn it down. Because they get paid from our bad debt, y'all. They get paid from our bad debt. All right. So let me keep it moving. So with this, they're not supposed to be reporting transaction or experience. So there goes a late fee. There's no such thing as a late payment. There's no such thing as a late payment. So that's the law that I use, and I help my clients delete late payments from their credit report. First of all, I hit them with the permissible purpose. Then I hit them with the late payments. Okay. So now let's keep it moving. Let's think about that late payment. Okay. I became late again. That's 2 months. I'm behind 2 months. All right. So that's 60 days. I'm late again the third month. That's 90 days late, right? By that time, your creditor will have probably already put your account in collection status. All right. They probably already put your account in collection status. So now when it comes to collections, let's go to 15 USC 1681 CC1. So we're going to go to 15 USC 1681 CC1 because I want you to see that there is a time frame that these creditors have to even report, now for them to put the accounting collections, that's solely up to them. But when it comes to collections turning into charge-offs, then that's a different story. But let me do this first before I go to that. Let's do 15 USC 1692 C, because I want you to, if you ever heard of do not pay collections, this is the law that they talk about when they say do not pay collections. All right. And when I'm talking about collection, I'm talking about third-party debt collectors when I'm talking about this. The collection process with a creditor is totally different. Okay. The collection process with a creditor is totally different because the definition of a debt collector has changed since, I think it was April of this year. The definition of a debt collector has changed. So I'm talking about third-party debt collectors. All right. So let me go to this real quick. So in the communication with the connection of a debt, and let me share this screen. Do not pay collections, okay? Do not pay collections. Anytime a third-party debt collector and lawyers' office are even considered debt collectors. That's even listed inside of the law. The only time they're considered debt collectors is when they're in the business of collecting debt for another company or another party. All right. They're in the business of collecting debt. Yes, you can send a notice of validation of debt letter to that lawyer's office. And if I were you, I would also send a validation of debt letter to the actual third-party debt collection company. So now what you're seeing on the screen now is do not pay collection. This is why they say do not pay collection. All right. Because first of all, you didn't go into contract with the lawyer's office nor that third-party debt collector. All right. So you don't even know if you owe the debt, period. Second of all, you don't even know if they own the debt to collect it from you. Also, I want you to put in the back of your mind, check with NMLS. It's called NMLS. Check that system to see if that company is licensed to collect debts in your state. Now, when you look at it, and I want to show you this because I want you to at least see it. Me just talking it to you, it's a different story. So I'm going to take the screen off the law real quick. But I want to show you how to look up a company. And you don't even need an account. So I want to show you how to come to this search system. And you'll see that I use a couple already. So let me share this screen real quick. I'll remove this one. And I want to share this one. I want to show you how to look to check to see if these companies are licensed to even collect the debt in your state. All right. But there's a kicker to it because you got to also check this place too. All right. So when you go to this, all right. So when you go to this screen, you'll see that I already got, and let me try what was it called? LVNV. Everybody should know who LVNV is. One of the biggest debt collection companies out there. So I'm gonna search for LVNV, and I don't know if you can see my screen, so let me zoom in some more so y'all can see. Let me make sure. All right. So you're gonna go to this website and you're gonna check to see if LVNV is licensed in your state. So I'm gonna say Mississippi, but I'm gonna click on it. So you'll come here to this link and you'll click it. And what it does, it gives you the information to LVNV Funding LLC. All right, numbers and everything. So if you don't know how to contact them, I wouldn't call any of these companies. I always send everything in writing because you don't want them to say that because it's your word against theirs if you're on the phone, unless you're recording the call. But I wouldn't call them at all. I send the actual letter with the laws that they violate me with, just to have paper trail, because paper trails are great when it's time to take these companies to court, especially if you're trying to pursue them, by yourself as a regular consumer. So we're going to come down here, and if you notice, it's showing you every state that they're licensed as a collection company. So it tells you in Arizona, it's a collection agency. It's licensed in Arizona. All right. Notice, and I'm gonna use Mississippi as an example because that's where I'm from. I'm gonna scroll down because I want you to look for Mississippi. All right. This is where I want you to look. I want you to look for Mississippi. Do you see Mississippi anywhere on this list? Okay. So now, the next thing you have to check is check with your state to see if they're licensed. So I would type in LVNV registered agent, and then it'll take you to the actual. You can click on the license to take you to the website of Mississippi to make sure that they're licensed. And I'm gonna show you that real quick because Mississippi business. I'm gonna put that business license. I'm going straight to Google when I do this. Mississippi business license. Gonna go to Secretary of State. And I'm going to show you this in a few. I'm trying to go to it because you notice Mississippi is not on here. Now, your state may not be on here, so you have to take it to the next step. You have to actually go to your websites, your state's. So let me put search on here, licensure search. All right, here we go. So you have to actually go to your state's website. And let me pull this screen up for you. Stop sharing that one. So you saw that one. Well, you notice you didn't see Mississippi. All right. So now I want to show you where I'm actually going to the Mississippi website, and I'm checking as a precaution. I'm checking to see if this state is licensed to even do business or to even. But in Mississippi, a debt collector doesn't have to have a. They don't have to be licensed, but they do have to be bonded to collect the debt in Mississippi. That's what's so messed up about Mississippi, because any debt collector can come into the state of Mississippi and collect the debt. Even if you don't owe the debt, they can pursue you for the debt. Now, they don't have to be licensed, but they have to be bonded. All right. So now I'm going to show you. I'm on my state's website, and it's the Secretary of State website. I just type in Mississippi State Secretary, Mississippi Secretary of State Business Licensure Search. Type it in, and it'll pull it up for you, whatever your state is. So I'm going to type in LVNV. All right. I'm going to search. Now, you notice, let me put it in another way. Because I actually looked this up just the other day. Some told me to screenshot it, but it's not coming up. So if I type in, I think it was LVNV. LVNV is licensed. I looked it up. So let me look at, I know I looked up H&R also. This is actually a, is it Delaware, if I'm not mistaken? H&R accounts. Let's see what this one is. This is the one that I found. This is the one that collect debts in a lot of states. So let me see. Once you find out, and say for instance, I had LVNV, but LVNV is, they do have a license in Mississippi, but this company right here, and let me go to details. Once you type it in, if that company is licensed in your state, it'll pop up. But I think I got to spell LVNV another way, because you do have to spell it a certain way for it to pop up. Just like you saw me type in the H&R, because I do remember typing in H&R from the last time I checked. So this, it'll show you where the company is in good standing. It'll show you that its effective date, when it started doing business in Mississippi. It gives you the registered agent's name. It gives you everybody that you can contact. So what the purpose of what I'm showing you is to check the NMLS website first. Make sure you check to see if your state is on there. If your state is not on there, use a backup plan. Go to your state Secretary of State website, type in business licensure, look it up to see if they're licensed in your state. But you also need to know that, do they have to be licensed to collect the debt? That might be why you didn't see the LVNV on it, because they don't have to be licensed, but they do have to be bonded though. All right, so make sure you check those when you try to determine the collections. All right. So now back to the 1692C, do not pay collections. We're going to use this law to get collections account deleted from your credit report. All right. So let's go to 15 USC 1692C. C. Ceasing communication. All right. Ceasing communication. So when that third party debt collector contacts you, this is what I need you to send to them. You need to take this law, the communication in connection with a debt collection. So we're going to go down from A, we're going to go to C. All right, so if a consumer, and I'm going to put it in the place of what I'm saying is about you. So if you notify a debt collector in writing that you refuse to pay a debt, this is a license where, I mean, this is the only law that I know that where a consumer can refuse to pay a debt, or that you wish the debt collector to cease meaning to stop further communication with you. The debt collector shall not communicate further with you with respect to such debt, except the only time when you send them this letter, when you put them on notice, you tell them to cease and desist communication. Now, when you do this, don't ask them to validate the debt. Okay. When you send this letter to a third party debt collector, first of all, know that you didn't go into contract with this company. First of all right. You don't know if you really owe the debt. Now, you know, you probably had a credit card with Credit One a lot, like about maybe 2 years ago. I'm gonna say 2 years ago. But you know how long it's been? You might have had loss of memory or whatever. But what I'm trying to get you to see is you didn't go into a contract with this third party debt collector. So if you're going to use 15 USC 1692C, ceasing communication, don't ask them to validate the debt, because you just told them in one sentence to stop communicating with me unless you're telling me if you're going to terminate the collection efforts, or you're going to invoke any kind of specific remedies, or you're going to tell me what specific remedies that you're going to invoke. Okay? Don't turn around in another sentence and ask them to validate the debt. That's two different things. So when we say don't pay collections, decide on what you want to do. Decide on whether you want them to stop contacting you, or decide on whether you want them to validate the debt. Now, you may be I'm gonna say a good Samaritan, good consumer, but you want to know, actually, do they own the debt? Because when you ask them to validate, you're asking them to prove to you that they own the debt. So in your letter, when you send that validation of debt letter, you're asking them to prove, show me the transfer, the forwarding document. Show me the purchasing agreement where the forwarding document where this account was forwarded to you or transferred to you, or show me the purchase agreement where you purchased this debt from the creditor. So you're asking them to prove that. All right. So don't forget, don't ask them to cease communication and in the same letter tell them to validate the debt. You probably won't get a response from the debt collectors. All right. You probably won't get a response from the debt collectors. Now, 15 USC 1692 CC means ceasing communication. Now, with that collections, let's go back to the 1681 CC1. Now, okay, you 30 days late on your account. Let me find it real quick. You 30 days late on your account, and they put you into collections, right? They sent you a letter, told you in collections. They still charging you, billing you them late fees and whatever fees they got, saying you don't make this payment. This is what's going to happen if you don't make this payment. All right, so now we're going to say 6 months then passed by. So what this creditor did was they didn't tacked on late payment fees. They didn't tacked on other fees. Now, once they turn you into collections, they probably sent your account to a lawyer's office. So now you got, on top of all the fees from them 6 months that you were accumulating, plus now you got attorney's fees. All right. So with that, collections turns into them not pursuing you. Say, for instance, they don't pursue you for their debt. They don't sue you for their debt. They just feel like it's a lost cause and we just gonna charge it off. All right. So let me go to, I just had it, y'all. Let's cease the communication. All right, here we go. Let me share the screen for you real quick. CC1, talking about the running period. So you late payments turn into a collection. The collections turn into a charge off. So now with that charge off, let me show you. They cannot report it as a charge off until requirements relating to information contained in consumer reports. So we're going to scroll down to C. That's exempted. So we're going to go down to C where it says running period. All right. So in general, the 7-year period referred to in paragraphs 4 and 6 of subsection A shall begin with respect to any delinquent account. So when you're trying to get these accounts deleted from your credit report, do not try to delete open collection. You can, but it's best to attack negative and derogatory accounts. All right. Because if it's open and it's still good, by law, they can report that and it can stay on your credit report up to 7 years. All right. They can report their collections up to 7 years. But now the way you get those open collections, saying this me giving you another gem. I don't know why I'm about to drop this for you, but I need to save this as my insider tip. So if you're dealing with open collections, you can use 15 USC 1681. Was it 1681 S2A7 negative information, because reporting a collection is considered negative information. So you can use that to get those collections taken off. And I did go over this in my work the system challenge, to where we saw a example of a credit report where they was reporting 30 collections. They're reporting this collection for 30 months on a consumer's credit report, and they're violating 15 USC 1681 S2A7 because you didn't give them permission to report negative information. So for every month that they're reporting this open collections on your report, your credit report, you can get them for those violations. All right. So now let's go back to the derogatory and the negative collections account that turned into a charge off. So it says, to any delinquent account that is placed for collections, charged to profit and loss, or subject to any similar action upon the expiration of 180 days. All right. Now, they can charge it off earlier than that, but the law doesn't stick. I would rather for you to attack it once it hits 180 days. All right. Once it hits 180 days. And you can report that as a inaccurate information on your credit report, because they have up to 180 days to report that is placed for collection, charged to profit and loss, or subject to any similar action upon the expiration. So they have up to 180 days to even report these collections, to even report this charge off. So now, once they reported the charge off, then you go to thinking, okay, I got to receive my 1099-C, right? I got to receive my 1099-C. They, by law, do not have to, and I do have that in the video showing you from looking at that 1099-C publication, they don't have to mail it to you. When you look at your credit report and you see a charge off, you as a consumer is responsible for reporting that as income on your credit report. I mean, on your tax return. Now, the thing about it is, income is not reported to your credit report. So where does a charge off come from? Why are you reporting the charge off? You can't report a charge off because I had to write it off as income, which was a tax liability. You wrote it off as a tax benefit. So you got paid for it. I didn't get paid for it. So they're not supposed to be reporting the charge off on your credit report. All right. And charge offs are also negative information. You can also use that 15 USC 1681 S2A7 to get that deleted. That's another violation they're violating you with, because 15 USC 1692 1681N, you can get paid up to $1,000 and actual damages for each violation. Okay. So now we went through the steps. The creditor has to have permissible purpose first, right? Creditor has to have permissible purpose first. Then they're not supposed to be reporting without your permission. They're not supposed to be reporting any negative information according to 15 U.S.C. 1681 S2 A7. So that late payment, there's no such thing as a late payment, and they are illegal because they're not supposed to be reporting any transactions or experience between you and the creditor. Late payments, they turn into collections, they turn into charge-offs. Get those three fixed on your credit report, you can get up to 357.5 points added to your credit report, all because you're working on payment history. I just broke it down and walked you through payment history. All right. So now I'm going to take a 2-minute break and I'm going to come back with the usury law. And I want to show you how to look at your state's laws to check to see if you're being overcharged by a predatory lender because your credit was not good enough to get the low interest rates. All right. See you in about 2 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. We're talking about the high interest rate. So what I need you to do is, if you had time, I gave you 2 minutes, really three. I gave you enough time to go check your agreements. And if you don't have them while you're on the live with me, wait till I get off. And when you get your time, go look through your agreements to see if you're being a victim of predatory lending, where they're charging you these high interest rates, these finance charges, APR, and your percentage rate, because your credit wasn't the way it's supposed to be. You had average credit. So let me take you to all right. So let me share the screen. I want to show you an example of what a actual installment agreement looks like. And I want you to make your own judgment as to if this is a good agreement or not. Okay. So let me say, where am I right here? I do everything via Google. So if you see Google here, you know why. This is what I do. All right. So let me show it to you. All right. Let me see if I can zoom in some for you. All right. So I need you to see that where it says annual percentage rate here, and where it says finance charge here, this is your truth in lending statement. So what you're looking at now is the truth in lending statement. All right. So you go into these loan companies or these credit companies and you apply for these loans. Now this one was actually a refinance from another loan that I had with this company. But the thing about it was I went in to get like extra money because I didn't use all of it. I was approved for more the last time, but I didn't use it all. So I was going in to get like a little bit more because I was going out of town. But when I went in, now mind you, I was already late on one of my payments. So the last thing you want to do is give me extra money and I'm already late. That's how creditors think. All right. Now, a creditor is not supposed to force you or coerce you into getting a bigger loan and making it look like they're helping you, but they're actually they're actually extending your payments. So the last loan that I had got, you see where it says how many months right here? It was 24 here. But when I got that extra money, and then when they refinanced it, they actually, when I went in to get the extra money for the loan, as I'm sitting there, she says, well, we know, because she had to pull my credit again. So every time they approve you for extra money, they're going to run your credit again. Okay. So while I'm sitting there waiting on her to figure out how much she was going to give me, she said, well, I noticed that you have a loan with so-and-so, so-and-so. Okay. So now she said, we can pay that off for you and your notes can pretty much be the same. This was actually, if I'm not mistaken, this was actually, I think about $10 or $5 more than what my note was before, right? Okay, so now she said we can make your notes cheaper. Well, this is $10, $5 less than what I was paying at first. She said we can make your notes cheaper and we can pay off your existing loan. So all you have to do is you just pay us instead of combining the two loans, right? So that's okay. It sounds like a good thing. But what that creditor just did, they actually coerced you into getting you're getting a little money from them. So they're gonna tax you for that little money you just get, that extra money you get. Then when they refinance it, that's another fee. And they're gonna pay off your other loan that you have with another company. So now they done pulled my credit. I hadn't signed anything. I hadn't signed. When I walked in that building, I hadn't signed anything. So who gave this company permission to check my credit? I didn't. Okay. And that's one of the things that I'm pursuing in court with this company. All right. So now with the extra money that they gave me, refinancing it and paying off my other loan, you see where it says $6,114. That amount is the amount that's going to be financed. All right. So they know my credit not good. I'm a victim of predatory lending. Pretty much everybody that's gonna be watching this video is a victim sometime or another, because other than that, you wouldn't be watching me right now, right? I'm not ashamed. I'm very transparent because I know what it takes to get my credit score the way I need it to. So I need you to build that confidence too. But I need you to be aware of what these companies do. So and two, they're not supposed to coerce you into getting a in more debt than you already are in. Okay, they're supposed to be doing it for the benefit of the consumer. So what they did was when they tacked on that extra loan, that extra money that they gave me, and when they refinanced it, my finance charges came out to be $4,362 tacked on to the $6,000. So now that makes, when I go through all these payments, I'll be paying them $10,476, right? Okay, so what this did was my last loan with them was 24 months. Now I'm at 41 months. So it's pretty much my payments done double. So now what they did was they upped the price, they bumped the price of how much they loan me. And then they didn't extend my contract with them, which made my finance charge go up. Okay. So that's where that predatory lending coming in there, because they know you need the money. So let me ask them, do they want this? And then when you say yes, you sign off on everything, and you not knowing none of this because they're not making this clearly and conspicuously to you. They're supposed to tell you this. Okay, if you refinance, this is how much you're gonna pay for the extra money. You're gonna pay for the extra money. This is how much you're gonna pay for refinancing that money, adding it to what you already got. And then for them to ask me, do I want my other loan paid off? They knew that by asking me that, it was going to extend the term of my loan and it was going to up the finance charge that's being paid. So that's that clearly and inconspicuously, right? So now I want you to take a look at the total amount of my loan. When you first get into an agreement with a loan company, this is the unpaid balance. The $10,476 is the unpaid balance. Now let me take you to the Mississippi law. So I want you to write this number down, 10,476. All right. And I want you to pay attention to this annual percentage rate. I'm not worried about the finance charge and amount finance right now, because that total payment and that percentage is all I need to know for right now. I know this is what they charging me, and this is the total of the unpaid balance when I first signed that contract, that agreement, right? So now you have to go to your state and you have to check with your state to see what are their maximum interest rate, especially when it comes to a finance charge. Now, also, if you want to know something about an auto loans are different. Okay, auto loans are different. You have to know what type of loan you're dealing with, and what I just showed you on the screen is an installment loan. And let me show you the law because I want to give you the exact words. Okay, they may be named different in the state that you're in. All right, so this is Mississippi. And you'll type in your state's usury law or maximum finance charge. I would use those words when I'm typing it in Google. So when you look at this, you have to know what type of loan you're dealing with. Now, where it says small loan regulatory law, I actually saw that on the contract. That's how I knew what to go to when I looked up my state's maximum finance charge, and it brought me right to this. Now, Just Steel got every state. They have every state. You can look up your state through Just Steel. They have a 2013 code. I've seen 2019. 2020 is the most updated version that I've seen. So that's why I clicked on this one. So this one is talking about when it comes to interest, finance charges, and other charges. Now it's telling you what creditors that's dealing with a small regulatory law, they have to charge a certain amount. And I want to show you that. Remember that unpaid balance. Remember that word unpaid balance. Okay, unpaid balance. So it says, hey, 36%, they can charge me 36% per year for the portion of the unpaid balance. All right, that's that 10,000. I hadn't made a payment yet. I just signed the agreement. Okay, they can charge me 36% for the portion of the unpaid balance of the amount financed. That 10,000 is the amount that was financed. That is not greater than $1,000. So if I owe $10,000, if I go through the term of the loan, that's the unpaid balance. That's that 36%. So now this is not greater than $1,000. So if you got a loan that's less than $1,000, the unpaid balance, they can charge you 36%. The highest they can charge, that's the maximum they can charge in Mississippi for an installment loan, is 36%. Write this down now. If not, you can come back and relate to this live. All right. B states, and let me zoom in so y'all can see this even better. B states that they can charge you up to 33% per year for the portion of the unpaid balance. Remember that word. For the unpaid balance of the amount financed in excess of $1,000. So I'm going to highlight excess of $1,000, but not greater than $2,500. So between anything, well, it's up to $1,000 for A. So anything that's over $1,000 excess, but not greater than $2,500, that means they could charge you up to 33% for the unpaid balance. All right. Mine was $10,000. I'm going to keep it moving. All right. Now remember, they charged me 33% APR for that $10,000 unpaid balance. I just told you 33% was for anything that was over $1,000 but less than $2,500. Right there, this B, I'm past B. $10,000 is past $1,000 to $2,500. So right there, they automatically violate me under this law. 15 US, not 15 USC. This is considered Mississippi Code Title 75, 1721. Remember them. If you're in Mississippi, look under 75, 1721. And this is Title 75, okay? So let me go on to see, because I want you to see this. Each state has different percentages. This is just Mississippi. I can't stress it enough. So it says they can charge you up to 24% per year for the unpaid balance in excess of $2,500, but not greater than $5,000. Mind you, mine was $10,000. And the percent was 33. This one says 24%. I want y'all to do the math when I get done. I want you to do the math. I was a total victim of predatory lending in this agreement. Oh, I am, not I was. I am. So let's go to D. D also states that they can charge me up to 14% per annum for the portion of the unpaid balance of the amount financed in excess of $5,000. I know I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but ain't $10,000 more than $5,000? $10,000 is more than $5,000. So I want you to take out your calculators, take out your phone, whatever you want to use. I want you to take 33% that you saw on my contract. And let me go to the contract because I want to show you this. I want you to see it. I want you to see that 33%, okay? Because a lot of us don't understand, and I know a lot of us probably visual learners. Not that one. It's this one. That's the letter that I use to get that, because I actually got remedy of $477, but I've been with this contract ever since November last year, so I should have got more than $477. And then this, and I'll come back to the 33% in a minute, because this company actually said that they received my payment of $400 because they credited to my account, but they violated me again because they actually reported that $477 to my credit report as a late payment. So if you received my payment of $477, why are you reporting it as late, past due? Okay, so that right there is about it. They're not reporting to the inaccurate reporting to a credit bureau. So I'm getting them on that violation too. All right, so now back to what I was talking about. So you already know mine is over $5,000. You see the $10,476. Okay, they're charging me an annual percentage rate of 33.04. I ain't gonna even do the 0.04. I'm just gonna take your calculator. I want you to subtract 33 minus 14. They're charging me in excess of 19%. They're charging me an extra 19%. Notice how that $6,000 that they financed me, that they physically paid for me or gave to me, yields a finance charge of $4,000. of $4,000. That's close to the $6,000 that they gave me. That's how these companies make money. Now, me signing this, I knew I needed the money. I was actually getting the money for to go out of town. So they knew I wanted it under duress, but I was going to a funeral. So I really needed to get there. And I wasn't really, when she offered that, when she made that offer to me, I took it and I said my other bill would be paid. And I'm thinking it was helping me. And I didn't even look at the contract. And they even charged me unemployment insurance at the bottom at the same time. So that went into consideration with the calculation of how much I had to pay back. I didn't need unemployment insurance because I got a job that pays for that. I got disability insurance with my job. So them not making that amount clearly and conspicuous to me, I could have saved $729 or whatever I done paid on it. And you also got to look at how much the term is, 42 months. So if you decide to cancel this contract or you end up getting out of this contract, they have to refund you the insurance premiums that you pay for this, that I paid for this unemployment insurance premium, because I didn't go the term of 42 months. Also take a look that if your contract, your agreement is for 42 months, they shouldn't have anything more than 42 months. They shouldn't have anything less. Those two numbers should be the same. They should be the same. Because if you got an agreement for 42 months and they got you down for 24, you're not covered. You thinking you covered for the whole 42, but you're not. You covered for 24. So you have to be very mindful of that amount too. Those insurance premiums, those terms on the insurance premium supposed to match the terms on the actual number of payments that you have. So make sure you pay attention to that too. All right. So what I just showed you was how I was charged for high interest rates. Okay. That's that usury law that they speak of. I went to my states. I actually read the whole contract agreement. Why I keep saying contract agreement, because this is actually a promissory note. All right. And looked and saw where this loan was coming from. And I just used the verbiage that they use and I end up finding it. So you have to do your due diligence. You have to do your study. You have to do your research. Okay. In order to find stuff like this. So I'll just, for all this information that I gave y'all today, we've been here over an hour. I just need for you all to share this, like it. Make sure you comment if you got any questions. Now, if you got any questions while I'm running off at the mouth, if you got any questions, you can type in the comments what questions you got. It could be any type of credit question. Preferably, I want you all to get used to targeting your payment history and learning these remedies to get these companies, because I found out I just bumped into this usury. I didn't know what I was doing. Ended up looking at Darain Delevante, and he said something about usury. And while we were sitting on the live, I went straight to my agreement because I still had it. And I saw it. And when I researched it, I'm like, okay, because they know if they charge you that high interest rate, you're already in bad debt. They charge you that high interest rate. They just made it harder for you to pay the loan off. They made it to where you're going to go that whole 42 months because they know you can't afford it because you're already in debt. That was their whole purpose of charging me that high interest rate. And that company is actually considered, with consumer lawyers, they're actually considered predatory lenders to them. So they don't mind pursuing that company. But make sure you all share this live, because I know it's a lot of people. This is one way you can get remedy. This is one way you can get out of, I can get out of this contract this way. But they're actually sending me to court. I'm waiting on the summons. I actually called the courthouse and they say yes, it is pending. So I haven't received the summons yet. But they, in this contract, this agreement, they do have an arbitration clause. And this is another gem that I'm dropping, y'all. They do have an arbitration clause. You can use that arbitration clause, their arbitration clause, against them. And I can do it. Let me see. Did I do it? No, I did. But I can do a video on how you can get rid of collections account using arbitration. A lot of this stuff that a lot of credit gurus don't want y'all to know, they'll charge you for, which I'm going to give it to you for free. Because I feel like if I found this information for free, what's wrong with you getting the information for free? Now, I do have letter templates that you can purchase. I do have a Consumer Scholars University that you can go online and you can purchase the courses if you need guidance, if you can't get a hold to me at the time, because I do consultations, but I'm about to stop doing consultations because I can get everybody on one live, or like I did my Google Meet tonight, the same time I did with they're actually in the chat now, chatting, asking me questions now. But I can get everybody in one place because the consultation, each one-on-one consultation, it takes all day. It takes all day. All right, so if you got any question, please comment, please like, subscribe, share this video with anybody you know has been a victim of predatory lending, especially when it comes to high interest rates. This is Quad. I'm signing out. Thank you all for watching.